Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have a really exciting game. This is going to be fun. It's a little in-house game and it is between two pretty cool players. Now, of course, one of them is working off of an account which is a bit unusual for them because they are no longer on the same team. But let's get straight to this and introduce the two players. Down in the bottom right position, we have the purple Protoss player from Team Millennium. It is Feast. And his opponent up in the top left. I'm assuming this is still the same person, just playing on an old account. It is, currently, on Team Evil Geniuses, the Zerg player, Stephano. Now, I imagine it is Stephano, because Feast would have probably said something if it wasn't. But this was Stephano's old account before, clearly, he went over to EG, so yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty funky. It's a game which not many people may have seen, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. A PvT is one of my favourite matchups as well, because I think it's got a nice flow to it. There's some good chunks. There's like the 2-base moment for Protoss where Zerg players where it's like, please don't kill my third. And then you get on a bit further and you're like, okay, I'm fine now. I've just got to try and work out what you're actually going for and what I'm going to go for, because you can go for things like Roach Hydra, which is great until they get Colossi out, and then you're like, damn it, I need Vipers. There's that new strategy. Well, I say new, it's the kind of current meta, really, between quite a lot of the pro players of going for those really Zergling heavy into super fast Ultralisk, maybe with some Infestors chucked into the mix, which can be really quite effective as well. So, lots of different varieties of build that we could be seeing out of these two. For the moment, we've got Feast. He's just going to be going for a Gateway expansion, which makes a lot of sense on this map, because this area coming into the natural is really quite wide, and even if you can't get the wall off there, then it's just a bit awkward, and early aggression can be a bit of a pain. Stephano went for a spawning pool into a hatch, and let's talk a little bit about what Feast could be doing and why he may go for that. Well, for a start, Stargate play wouldn't be a mistake on this map at all, because there's a lot of dead space around the main. You can really come in there, get a little bit of Oracle harassment, maybe Phoenix as well can be really sweet, and that also just lines you up quite nicely to switch into Void Rays later on when you start wanting to add them into your composition, which can add some interesting things. The downside to going for a Stargate, though, is it delays your Colossi, and if you have less Colossi out, then basically big Roach Hydra pushes can be a little bit tough, and you don't really want to get into that sort of situation. For Stephano, he just wants to try and secure this third relatively early on. Doesn't need to do it too soon, though, because it wasn't a Forge Fast expansion or anything like that. Stephano will get a good read on the Nexus timing. Knows it's after the Gateway and Cybernetics core, though, so knows it was a 1-gate expansion, which therefore means that he can delay this third base until around the kind of 5-minute mark if he wants to. But he actually faked it. Ooh. That was quite nice. So, this was actually a really minor thing that we should point out. Feast saw with his probe that this drone was on its way down here, looking very much like Stephano was going to go and take his third. But after the probe was picked off by the Zerglings, Stephano brought that back. That could really add into a little bit of confusion for Feast, because he's thinking Stephano has gone up to a really quick third base tech, and he actually hasn't. So, this could really become quite interesting. This probe, unfortunately, is not going to make it. It's going to die. The Zerglings are chasing it down very, very happily. At the same time, though, we see the Mothership core already out. We've got the Double Queen in production. No gas as of yet for Stephano. I'm expecting to see those shortly if he doesn't take his third. He really needs to, but the probe is going to come in here. The Queen desperately wants to stop it, because this scout out, seeing that there's no third, is brilliant there for Feast. So really smart move by him. Just sending a second probe, which will now die, just in order to get the confirmation that, yes, this third base did or did not go down. That allows him to prepare appropriately for what Stephano could be going for. So here comes the robotics facility. So in terms of build order, Feast just went 1 gate, 1 cyber, 1 gas, 1 nexus, 1 robo. He's like half of Noah's Ark right now. He's just getting one of everything. Meanwhile, the queens for Stephano, they're just coming up in number. He's got 4 queens out, which is something which you really commonly see in ZvT, but not so often see in ZvP. But it's getting a lot more potent, because especially when your opponent's gone for a gateway expand, I really quite like getting these queens down, because it means that you can defend really nicely with a spine crawler, and you can force yourself, you can just basically get a lot more drones out a lot quicker, which is always good. You want to be droning up as much as possible. This Stalker just keeping an eye around everywhere. The robotics facility just finishing up. Zergling speed on its way down now, so this is just due to the double gas there. We've got the double evolution chamber, so currently everything really looking like Stephano is going to be going for that upgrade heavy style. He needs to look to take his third base relatively soon, though, unless he's going for some kind of 2-base all-in, because if he doesn't get that third up sort of in the next kind of minute or so, he will start to fall quite substantially behind in terms of the income, especially going into the later stages. But a second spine caller coming down Stephano clearly not feeling too happy. He doesn't have an Overlord ready to come and sacrifice in, but this Stalker on patrol command will be able to snipe that off really before it gets very much view, because all of the production facilities over here. So this is now coming up to 4 gates, plus a robotic facility, chrono boosting out another Immortal. This is going to be really quite aggressive, actually, out of Feast. And this is something that... Oh, I didn't see those 2 gates. Okay, so this is now 6 gates, plus a Robo. Very, very powerful 2-base push. We've got a proxy pylon just coming down up here. Stephano trying to keep the watchtower, just to get a little idea of what's happening. He's pushing the creep spread forward. What he needs to do is get these upgrades out, get a lot more Zerglings out, and also push across the map, because one of the best ways to increase your chances of defending an Immortal Sentry style push, which I'm expecting to see shortly, or even just an Immortal Gateway push, is to stop it earlier on. Because if you can stop it over here, delay it, know it's coming, you can just start flooding units way sooner. And this is exactly the reach Stephano needs. Comes straight in, sees, okay, 2 Immortals, got a couple of Gateway units and the Mothership Core, pump a lot of Zerglings. 6 on the way already. The Lava are there to make more, but the money is not, and that's a bit of a problem. He's chucking down some additional Spine Crawlers. He's got the Queens, so his 3rd hatchery on its way down, but the War Prism, it will be coming across, the Pylon getting even closer as well. This Mothership Core nearly got 200 energy, so it's going to have Time Warp and the ability to mass recall if this doesn't go the way that Feast wants it. But in comes the Speedlings. Time Warp already being utilised there. The Zerglings trying to get a nice little bit of circus in this area. More Zerglings on their way through. The Spine Crawlers are getting transfused very nicely here by Stephano. All the Queens getting pulled down. More transfuses are going down, waiting for the 2 Spines at the back to complete. One of the Immortals does fall. The other 2 are managing to stay up for the time being though, but these Spines, they're getting annihilated at the moment. This is looking really good for Feast, and Stephano has got 26 more Speedlings on the way. Admittedly, both of those Immortals are pretty low, but way more Zealots coming in. 1-1 upgrades are not yet completed. 1 Immortal will now fall. The 2nd Immortal looking slightly dangerous. We've got all of the drones getting pulled back towards the main base at the moment. So Stephano just had to sacrifice this. He's waiting, biding his time. He knows the Feast likely to be all in here. Big Zealot aggressive play is such a good counter to this very Zergling heavy style that we've seen a lot of Zergs go for, especially with the double upgrades. Meanwhile, the Zealots running up into the main base. The natural base of Stephano is going down. There's no 2 ways about that. So many Zealots up against these Zerglings. They're not going to go too well. Immediately, the 1-1 upgrades are done for the Zerglings. That's going to help, but it may not be enough. And yes, Stephano, GG's out. So a perfectly executed timing push there out of Feast. Stephano, he was relying on those Zerglings and just did not have the money to get enough out. He played slightly too greedy. He did have his lair down though. But then, yeah, that was a fun little short game. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did like the video, leave a cool comment and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I'll catch each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thank you for watching and bye for now.